Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about this saying, enter the kingdom of heaven and all things shall be added unto you. Now, we're going to enter the kingdom of heaven and use this as a technique to manifest an experience that we would love to physically experience. So in the game of life you have duality, which means there is a phenomenal experience where there is you in the world, and in the world there are people, objects, and experiences. So we have this subject-object relationship. So let's go for a really obvious example. You maybe like somebody, like romantically or in some other way, or maybe you want to acquire some type of physical asset, like a big amount of money or an apartment or a house or an island, whatever. So in the design of how this everything works, there is a relationship of subject to object. So that means that me personally, individually, I will have a relationship to money, for example. That is different for you, and for somebody else it's also different. So for somebody who already owns an island, let's say, the idea of having an island is already manifested, and the physical experience of having that is already manifested. Now, what we know about manifestation is when we manifest the idea or visualize and feel the idea as if it is already realized in the now, then that idea comes down into a physical reality. Now, we're going to make this really effortless. How? Because we're going to enter the kingdom of heaven. So we're going to deconstruct reality. So how are we going to do this? First of all, we want to imagine nothing. Now, you can imagine nothing, or you can intuit nothing. And I will just say that you can intellectually understand the concept of nothing. That's not going to do it for you. Imagining nothing is going to lead you into the kingdom of heaven. Intuitively feeling or perceiving nothing means that you are already there. Okay? So please note this difference. What I'm explaining here, you can receive as an intellectual transmission, is not going to do much for you. If you imagine emptiness, nothingness, then you're starting to feel that. And that brings you into intuitive relationship with this nothing. And when I say intuitive relationship with this nothing, it means that simply you are leaving only the two elements, your consciousness, your observer self, with this nothing, and they are actually one and the same. And this is really important, because when you want to manifest anything, to try and do it even from imagination, even from visualization, even from desire, even from love and gratitude, it's all still very complex, or somewhat complex, relationship of subject manifesting an object. In the emptiness, consciousness and the perceived emptiness are one and the same. When I talk about them, I still name them consciousness and emptiness, but they are actually not separate. And this is the kingdom of heaven. Or you can call it the quantum. Because the consciousness is in the 0 point, which is subdimensional. So that means that the quantum, that is infinite unmanifest potentiality, and consciousness are one and the same before anything else came into being. And all the relationships that we have between objects in the world, people in the world, are constructs that arise from this potential, this quantum potential. So to enter the kingdom of heaven, this is a real shortcut. You simply have to focus a little bit onto the 0 point, or emptiness. Now, if you want to deepen this relationship with the kingdom of heaven, I'm sharing many ways on my channel that you can kind of like fall more deeply, or allow yourself to just melt into it. Okay, because it can be effortless to be fully absorbed. But what I'm saying right now is I'm portraying a way. I'm guiding the way. So I'm just giving you an activation based on information that you are already a resident in the kingdom of heaven. You're already there. And by focusing on emptiness, first perhaps imagining the void, nothingness, and then focusing on that for a little bit, you will be touching with that baseline reality, okay, subdimensional space, or no space. Now, why is it important that we manifest from here? Because in this 0, or the kingdom of heaven, you do not exist yet as an individual that has a complex relationship to the person that you are attracted to, or the island that you want to acquire, or the money, or whatever you want to manifest. There is simply an infinite potential and a blank canvas. Now, from this infinite potential, you will manifest your individuality and your avatar, and you already have, because you are beyond space and time, so already everything exists. And you already have manifested infinite planets with infinite islands and infinite money and infinite beautiful people that you want to relate to in any type of way. Okay, so all of the relationships of any subject to any object already exist in this potentiality beyond space and time. Now, understand what I'm saying, and then try to imagine what I'm saying. Everything exists. And then trying to intuit or feel that this is so. Now, what you will be choosing to invoke from this infinite potential, now this is very important. Okay, so pay attention. What you will be choosing to invoke from this infinite potential is not going to be the island or the person or the money. It's going to be a new relationship between subject and object where they are already unified. Now, in layman terms, you could say like manifestation teachings, they say, imagine yourself already having the island in the now. And how does that feel? So then focus on the feeling and then overwhelm your meditation with that feeling of already walking on an island, picking up coconuts, whatever, right? And that works. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit, something a little bit technical about how does this work and why. So here is, so this is not nothing, this will be everything because it's already manifested potentiality. It's a sheet of paper, it's the screen of life. Alright, now in this screen everything is unified. This is singularity or the infinite white light or the central sun, if you will. Okay, and this is, consciousness is also there, but there are no separate objects here. Okay, so you can say this is everything all at once, which is same as nothing basically. It's just like the flip side of the same coin. Now, I'm using this to make you, alright, and then I'm gonna put this object, or let's say it's a person that you want to relate with, alright, so we make it, it's like a female person and some male smiley. Alright, so in this reality where everything is already complex and manifested, there will be like different assumed relationships in our energetic memories. So we might perceive this as something other. Alright, the subject, the object. The object is something different by what I know, what I remember, what I emotionally have impressed about islands, money, people, that specific person. I might have a complex relationship here. Now, all of these people and this relationship is energy that is showing up on the screen. So what you want to manifest from nothing, or what you want to invoke, is a reset of this complex relationship that you have in your energetic memory as an individual. You want to change yourself so you feel like actually you're already one with that, whatever that is, right? You're united with that. And you want to actually assume that you are this nothing or consciousness that is then manifesting as either subject object in the world, or there is no difference between subject and object in the world. So, what am I saying here? Let me make this really kind of like concentrated. You are consciousness beyond space and time and manifestation of these individualities. You are at the present moment here experiencing your individuality, your individual soul and avatar, having already recorded complex relationships to the world outside of you, so you experience objects in the world or people in the world or experiences in the world through your ego energetic memory. Okay? And this energetic memory is also manifested from the pure potential, from pure consciousness or 0 point. Okay, so that means your beliefs, right, about, I don't know, money or relationships. You have preset it, karma or your previous experience records. So you are going to manifest actually that these records are shifted. So you're not manifesting the island, the money, or the relationship. You are manifesting a change in your individuality. Now, I can say this in another way. A manifestation teacher would tell you to become a method actor. So you want to feel like the boss. You know, you're elegant and successful, and then you assume that role, you embody that role. All of a sudden, your movie, your game of life starts to play that for you. Everybody mirrors that. So you are method acting, you are practicing to be in a certain type of frequency, embody a certain type of feeling, and all of a sudden world reflects that to you and everybody treats you like that. You embody bliss, you embody self-love, everybody's like, hey, you're so lovely. Right? Now, what I'm saying is that to embody a certain quality of being or a complex individuality that has a vast subconscious that you are not able to investigate all at once because you are so many cells and bones and tissues and energies and memories and beliefs, right? From this first person perspective, it's hard to know yourself in every detail all at once because you are a complexity. But to invoke any override of how you're feeling is a very simple thing to do if you are manifesting an OS update or an override of your karmic memory, which holds in itself all the behavioral patterns, all your relationships to objects or experiences in the world. So it will be something like this. Instead of entraining a role, you simply ask the quantum, the emptiness, to download into you that feeling of an already developed role. Because see, that quantum, that pure consciousness is right now everybody else in the world. Everybody in the past, everybody in the future is your twin flame, if you will, or twin. So all the roles have already been developed in the past, in the future, everything exists simultaneously. So you don't need to find something out, it already exists. You just need to invoke that feeling, and feeling is, or emotion, is a very complex pattern that is animating your body, okay, and your nervous system. You're like, you would be a corpse, a puppet, without an animation, right? And I will tell you this. I've realized in occasions during my life that if I have no idea what I'm doing, I can play the piano, which I never trained. And then I realized that I can also do kung fu. Very complex patterns of martial arts that simply came from this emptiness. The only thing that I've actually trained is how to dissolve my experience into the void. And from that, qualities would arise and become animated through my avatar that never even occurred to me that I would like have those qualities. So nowadays I tend to make things simpler. Instead of chasing the object in the world through my complex filters of relating to that object. So let's say there's a person that I want to have a relationship with, whether that is a potential client or it's a romantic endeavor, right? So I will cancel out the endeavor, and I will cancel out any patterns of recognizing that somebody as an other. Anything that I think about them, anything that I want from them, I will simply ask the emptiness to put us together in an experience, like me and money, $1 million, $100 million, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's the same. Because, okay, let's discuss this. Let's say you have a relationship to $10. It might be an effortless relationship because it's entrained within your system. You know that. You habitually know something, it becomes effortless, it becomes easy. Your subconscious knows that. You're very used to it. So you don't actually construct any complex ideas of how to invest $10 or how to earn $10 or whatever. You just like assume that you're going to have $10 and then you buy a coffee or whatever, right? So $1 million, for example, need to be also just there in your experience without any complication. You don't need to actually make any complex presumptions. But let's say that by default you do have already acquired complex presumptions about being able to have $1 million, or what are you supposed to do, and what kind of hustle are you supposed to invent to actually acquire that. Okay, so you then maybe want to reset all of those presumptions so you can have a clean slate. And that experience that is manifested from the quantum potentiality is just putting both the subject and the object together in a way where there is no complex filter of perceiving the object or trying to achieve connection with the object, or like trying to hustle and grind to like get there, right? And this is also something about the kingdom of heaven, because when we say like we're going to do yoga or we're going to do meditation, it's an obstacle to meditation or yoga, meaning unity of all things. Because you cannot not go into a samadhi experience if you're trying to get somewhere. By cessation of trying, you're surrendering into that state of unity that already exists. And it can only be achieved when there is no subject trying to get to an object. That is the paradox of duality. So you might orient yourself towards samadhi, but then you need to cease any action, and then the fabric of reality will kind of like drift and transform, and you will have the experience of samadhi. And when we say I did meditation, there's nothing to do. Meditation is quite the opposite. Is the cessation of subject, cessation of individuality. You stop investing the awareness into the individuality and its presumptions and whatever it is trying to acquire through its presumptions. And all of a sudden, who you are, there's nothing left. And that is meditation. So you cannot do it. And in the same way you acquire yoga, samadhi, or you acquire the experience of meditation, in the same way you acquire your island, your lover, your experience of having $1 million or spending $1 million, investing, whatever that is. It has to become simple. It has to become effortless. It has to become egoless. Now, you might want to also, for the ego, a cookie for the ego. If you want to be in charge of the process, you want to feel like you're like getting there. You want to measure how close you are to your samadhi or to your enlightenment or to having $1 million. You might want to do this because this is a cookie for the ego, and it makes sense to do so because, okay, ego likes to get things done. It wants to procure results for your desires. So, let's say you can energy test your relationship to something. Okay, so let's say my relationship to $1 million, right? And there are different wordings that might give you different results. But if you know what I've shared in the past, I always talk about energy testing. You will take numbers from 0 to 100%, and you will ask your subconscious to tell you how true is a statement. Now you need to carefully formulate the statement. I will give you some examples, but you can use your own wording because it will be more native to your subconscious and your linguistic programming or your understanding of language. So you will say, hey subconscious, bro, or hey subconscious, hey love. How true is this statement from 0 to 100%? I'm already unified with $1 million. Now you might get 100%. I'm getting 100% right now, which is sweet. It's effortless, it's whatever. And easily, if I start to employ my mind to kind of further examine my relationship to $1 million, my mind might say, but wait, I don't have it right here. And then immediately that chart, I see it sometimes as a chart or just like a number, would fall to 96%. So even if I ask myself, like, wait, but where is my $1 million? Like, do I have it here? I can go all the way to 90% from just feeling that I already have it. Now, you might want to stay with the feeling of the wish fulfilled as it is taught in the teachings of Neville Goddard and such. And the thing with like acquiring a feeling that you already have something and it feels like 100%, and you can go and make it complicated again by adding more assumptions, new assumptions, ideas, and that just simply introduces new potentials for your reality to collapse, your infinite quantum potential to form new type of reality, so you're causing quantum instability. So once you have the feeling of the wish fulfilled, manifestation teachers, they teach you to assume the state of the wish fulfilled and then forget about it. Now, the really good way to forget about it is also to command the quantum space to filter out any ideas that would hinder the state of the wish fulfilled, right? So you may say something like, okay, now I'm feeling the state of wish fulfilled. Quantum or Brahman or consciousness or 0 point or whatever, God, overrides any ideas that might appear, and just until I see this realized and I can touch it, lick it, smell it, etc., I don't want to think about it. Or you may say, I want to be free from any additional reflecting. And now this is the art of really programming your reality. You have the 0 point, you have the infinite potential, and you understand the teachings of manifestation. And the manifestation formula is always easy. Imagine that you already have it and then feel that and then forget about it, right? But these are just some additional kind of like touches, additional touches that might help to really solidify, and what you can use the quantum for that potentiality is truly infinite. Where you want to direct it is your choice, and how you want to program it really depends on your specific individuality and sets of choices that you will create. So there are many ways to do it, and I'm sharing some things that worked for me in the past.